Hey people, I found these three words in one line. I thought I'd read this for you. But it says in Zion, and it says bacon, into bacon, and it says cosmos, all in this one line. And so this is actually old rhymes passed down verbally to help you remember, and it's actually talking about astrology, but the rhyme have a different object to help you remember it. So what this says is key to give works, to fold the work, and you see it begins a lot of lines in the Bible, and is pointing to who folds the work. And so this line here, this tack means, I'm going to read this backwards first. So this isn't OM, and OM would be the base word for home. OMI is your homie. But this is going to make me read it backwards. So this is mom. And so this word home is the I, or the I and this OM, to see from. And so your home is where you will be seen from. But this is saying to give the works of mom in Zion. And Zion has become known to mean your happy place, a high place. But this one actually means opposite. To give the works mom in cross make when. You done made mama cross. You done pissed her off. N-X-I-U-N. In cross make when. Is in. By rustle from. By first use bind from. The back to law. And so the back to law is in give to. As in when a wide load is coming down the road, you give them more road. You in give. Somebody too big is walking down the hall, you give them more room. In give to. You get back. If you're working in a busy kitchen and somebody's coming out with a hot plate, if mama's coming out with a hot plate, she's going to say get back while she's walking with that hot plate. The back to law. So saying the key, mom in cross make when she gets pissed off, is in a pissed off mood. By rustle from, to take, to create, to by rustle, to create from, to bind from, and make first use, to bind from, the back to law. And then this has got the hyphen again, so we're going to read this backwards. And it says the covet of bake and when. The usually when it's using this line and this next word will read both ways. In order to create the word out of it, it'll add half the next word, or sometime the whole word, sometime the next couple words to make one word. But it says the KBT, the covet, as in to take, bake in when, itch and give. Anytime the itchin gives, you go take some of her bacon, and that is a way to get her in Zion, in the cross make, to make mama cross, go reaching over there and grab some bacon while she's trying to finish breakfast up. And so being this BKEHN, being it's spelt with an H, makes me think it's pork bacon and not baked goods, because the HN is ancient for poison. The hen was ancient, where usually HNE was a poison. But the back to law, the covet of bacon when itchin give, and this is where your word kitchen come from. In the itchin give, so the kitchen would be to give the itchin. The itchin, I-H-N, give. So you'll see this H-N in this word here, H-N-U-N, and then here I-H-N-K. And this happens all throughout the Bible. Most every line is playing with words because it's poetry. And so they'll give this first word. It's in the same category, but they'll give it a different meaning. It vary very much. And you see it's the only time it's used, although this is surely and very is all throughout the Bible. But you'll see it's in the same category, and that other word comes after is right in here somewhere. It's in the same category of these words. But the back to law, the covet, the bacon, when the itching give, and the la fool. The fool is one of the gods of the moon, and that's what it's actually talking about. But it's disguised here in Mama getting pissed off, and it says to direct the fool, L-Q-U-L, to bind the fool, to direct the fool, the Z, the cut, O-Q, the cut off give. You cut off, and to give the cosmo to give the cosmo to unfold. And to give the cosmo to unfold is a polite way of saying, I will knock you out. You will be watching the stars. You'll be trying to unfold the cosmos. And this is what I was researching when I found this SMO in here, the cosmo. To give the schmo to. And schmo is an ancient term for, and when you're signing some paperwork, that empty line where your name goes here, you are the schmo. You're the sucker to put your name on that paperwork, the schmo. To give the schmo to see, or to unfold, to see the cycles give. To unfold is to see the cycles, unfold it and see what it's all made of. And the cosmos to unfold. So you can see here this Cosmo 2 is given the meaning here, and it only comes up this one time. And here's about 25, 50, 7,500. There's about 160 words given the same meaning. They all have this schmo in them. That make schmo to schmo. And this is actually a whole bunch of different words that's all been just given the same meaning. So this is where I was reading this schmo here. And this book was written for everybody that could understand, no matter what your level was. As long as you could read, you could get something out of it. And the higher your level of education, the more you could get out of this. But, the schmo, this is the E-S-M-O, or shim, or shin. And so this letter shin, usually given the sound sh, and so if you look at all the ancient languages, you know, they were all pretty much the same here. You got Phoenician here, and early Greek, and early Latin, and you see all the letters. You know, if you could read one, you could read the other. You could figure it out. But down here at the bottom, this is that letter shin, and the Phoenician is a funny shin. It's got it turned up, got an extra leg on that S, turned up the wrong way. It's a funny shin, the funny shin. So here is explaining the schmo. The schmo, to see from fool, To fool the schmo, to fool the sucker, get him to put his name on there. The schmo. To see from fool. From yell. This from yell. Anything starting with the A's reading backwards. From Y-E-L-A. From yell. And this is the language of astrology. It's the 22 letters that circle around the day. They, if you're looking up toward the North Pole, those letters keep circling around like a clock, the hands of the clock, and that's where the yell comes from. And so in order to cook up the more serious potions, you have to learn the astrology to get the codes out of. But the schmo, to see from fool, from the yell, he doesn't understand the language. From the dibber. And so this the dauber was an old meaning for a cop, a tattletale, the one who's speaking for the king, the dibber. And it's where your word gibberish come from, or dibber, like a baby's crying, trying to talk at the same time, giving you dibber. And the dibber isn't a clear language because it's actually what you would use to give coordinates. It's to give the coordinates of the stars, and first you give the azimuth of how far south of the North Pole it is, and then you would give the rise on it. So you'd be given, and the rise would be compared to another star that's circling because they're always moving. And so the dibber would be given in 2 coordinates, and all throughout the Bible they turned it into words when it's actually coordinates to tell you where the stars are. From to give, from the mark to give. The dibber, from the mark to give. The sass, got a line here, so this reading backwards. The S-A-E-A-S. The say as Kaiser. Kaiser is your king. And so that's going with this from the dibber, from the cop speaking from to give, the sass, the words of the king, speaking for the king. But this Kaiser is actually the king of that each what do you call it? Each set of stars in a constellation has a king that it all works around, from the Kaiser. And then you see it again here, the schmo mark. To eat. E, it starts with an A, so it's going to read backwards. E-T-A. And it's it means to consume, and not necessarily eat food, but to eat the words, to understand, to consume the words. Which, W-I-C-H-I, which make. To eat, which make. So this could be read as the schmo, the names. To see from fool, from the moon, from the yell, from dibber, from the language of the coordinates. From to give, say as Kaiser, to give them the rule as king. And then this has got the line here, so this is to mesh, M-S-M, to mesh from out it to, it to which make. And so all the Bible's written in code, in Chronicles is all about time, and the times are all in names, and all them strange names in the Bible, in the names. And the names are created by the position the stars are in at the time. So by the name gives you a date. And then all the stars in the constellations, they all have a name in that constellation. And when it starts breaking down to in the creations, it's all coded in the names of the stars, and you have to learn the positions. You can't just read the Bible. You have to get you a big telescope, or there's some really expensive books you might find on board some ships that'll tell the positions of all the stars in degrees and latitudes and stuff, and if you understand, you can break those numbers down into words and understand this. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day, folks.